are listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio, hosted by Steve Jenier and his satanic assistant, Alex Rondini, both of whom can't go into churches without vomiting.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be around this wild, wacky, and sometimes disturbing world of ours. Yes, that's the intro to the Mindset Podcast, a weekly attempt to open eyes and shedding light on what's really going on in the world, all done by ripping apart the media madness that masquerades as news. Join me, Gareth Davis, every Sunday on the Mindset Podcast. You can find the show on all major podcasting services such as iTunes, Stitcher, and so on. Or you can go directly to the main Mindset website. That's www.mindsetcentral.com. Check out the Mindset Podcast. Bring your curiosity, your opinions, and a sense of humor. And remember that some worldviews are stranger than others.
to Nocturnal Frequency Radio with your hosts, Steve and Alex.
And welcome to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on the New Visions Radio Network. And of course, live streaming, simulcasting on our YouTube channel.
That's right.
So however you're catching the show, watching us make fools out of ourselves on the YouTube channel, or of course listening to us live on the New Visions Radio Network. And buddy, before we started, I'm a Steeler fan. Okay, I have to say this. I know you're not a big football fan or whatever, but. No. I don't know what's going on, man. They're getting their asses whooped. When I came up here, it was 28-0.
28-0. Holy shit.
28-0 in the first half. They can't get anything going. Let's just hope that they can pull a miracle off in the second half, because I'm telling you, first half, it's like, forget it. Oh my God. You could probably throw the football better.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
I could probably catch better.
Hey, all you need is a little bit of Velcro on your gloves.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to get the Velcro out in the second half. Oh, my God. It's just absolutely horrendous.
Where are they playing?
They're playing in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
It makes it even worse. Jeez. So, quite a week. Starting off with an insurrection of the Senate
fuck
Washington, and oh my God, just pure craziness. And of course Trump going off the rails. And did you see that video message that Arnold Schwarzenegger released?
No, I just saw it actually, the post today. I didn't get a chance to watch it because it was just before the show went on, so I'll take a look at it later.
It's pretty cool, man. It's. I know it's from his heart, but you know what? He's a good actor, or is he? Well,
he's an action star. He's an action movie star, right?
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, he's not a great actor, but I mean, he's doing a pretty good job. He's like Ronald Reagan, former actor.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah. So I mean, it's been a crazy week, and of course, the COVID numbers aren't helping.
Nope.
They just keep climbing.
This is what I gotta say to that.
Oh man, that's what I say to that. Hey, yeah. You're stealing my.
I'm stealing your thunder
there. My thunder, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think there's going to be a lockdown come Tuesday?
It's tough to say. At this point, I don't know anymore. Quebec's already doing it, obviously, and I don't think it's gonna do much good. I mean, there's proponents from both sides, obviously, right?
Yeah.
The proponents against that severity of lockdown with a curfew, what they're suggesting might happen is that now you might have people doing sleepovers, which defeats the purpose. You know what I mean? But I mean, if people had adhered to the protocols, we wouldn't be in this situation. The numbers would have still gone up because around the wintertime it's seasonal as well, right? Yeah. But I don't think they would have been as high as they would have been had people not relaxed on the protocols.
Yeah, I think they should. They should have kept it. They should have kept it streamlined until this was under control.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, now it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get the numbers under control. But I don't know, man. I really don't. I'm done with it.
Oh yeah, I've been done with it for a while.
I'm just done with it. I'm done with having to deal with people who are
stupid. Yeah.
And you can't say retarded, can you? Can you say retarded?
No, you can't.
No,
it's not politically correct. But stupid really is the same thing.
Stupid, okay. Honestly, I
mentally deficient.
Yeah,
that's a politically correct term.
It's like get the automatic, what's the word now? Enema.
Oh yeah, the enema. Oh, believe me, if I could, I would.
Oh,
There's
I
a,
just don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Baffles my mind.
Yeah.
The stupidity of people.
What baffles my mind is the stupidity of people who are deniers still to this day.
Well, yeah,
You know?
sure, the deniers, but just human fucking stupidity.
No, yeah.
I
Listen,
mean, there's really no other way to put it. I mean,
there isn't. Unfortunately,
in the
there isn't.
beginning, you had the hoarding of toilet paper. Toilet paper, come on.
I know. This is why this numbs the pain.
That numbs the pain. You better hurry up. Yeah, from what I understand, there's going to be a shortage, eh?
Ah, great. I better go to the liquor store tomorrow and buy some more.
You should get it straight from the distillery.
I'm not going to drive all the way to Grimsby.
What?
It's in Grimsby, isn't it? The distillery?
Yeah, it's a nice little drive.
It is, but I don't want to go there just for a bottle of whiskey.
It's
You can get it at
it's
the
essential,
LCBO.
isn't it?
It is essential, yes. It's essential to be able to deal with the idiots. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Well, it's good that it's available, pretty much in any LCBO. So I mean that's okay.
For sure.
I prefer the thing is because I'm a beer guy. I prefer to go straight to the source because I know a lot of the stuff that's been sitting in the LCBO has been sitting before it hits the shelves, right?
Yeah.
So I prefer to go to the source, get some fresh stuff.
Whiskey tastes better when it sits around.
Well, obviously.
Provided it's not open.
Provided it's not open, it ages well. It ages really good. I mean, what is that? Is that aged at all? Or is it just straight?
The copper pot's not aged that much. I don't know how many years they age it, but I can't see it being aged.
But it is
much.
aged, right?
To some degree, I guess maybe a couple of years, but I can't see it being aged more than that.
Yeah, it's been aged on the shelf, right?
Exactly. A couple at the distillery and a couple on the shelves.
So what's new?
Nothing. See? Ventriloquist.
Yeah. Let's try it again. So what's new?
Nothing.
No. We need a new one.
Oh, you need a new one. Okay.
Yeah. So what's new?
Not much.
Not much.
There you go. There's a new one.
So tonight we're going to sort of continue on what we were discussing. We kind of frayed away last week, didn't we?
That's typical. We usually do.
I mean, it is typical. Yeah.
Yeah, we usually do.
We strayed away, but we'll try to stick to the topic tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if somebody has a story pertaining to an out of body experience or astral traveling or
near death experience,
near death experience or something that you can't explain down that sort of scenario, you can call us. I mean, we do have a number you can call, and the number is 716-406-4472. And of course, we'll keep the lines open throughout the show. I mean, if you have any stories that you'd like to share in terms of OBEs, NDEs, or astral projection, whatever, hey, we'd love to hear it. Once again, the number to call is 716-406-4472. So anyways, getting back to what we strayed away last week. And what was it? It was basically because we were talking about, again, with getting into the paranormal and how things are sort of out of whack, if you will. And is it something that we can sort of say, hey, look at, man, we can sort of correct this in this day and age? I don't think we can. I really don't think we can. I think there's no sort of reprieval or sort of correction in sight anytime soon, because the way the world is now is just insane.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is insane. This is where the enema comes in.
The enema.
Yeah,
the enema.
I've been saying it for a long time, and I've been saying it for a long time that this world needs an enema. But the more time goes on, the more I sincerely agree with it.
Yeah, it's sad, but yeah, it's a reality that I mean, do we need a refresh? It kind of seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No. Anyways, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about near-death experiences, OBEs, out-of-body experiences, astral projection, and a lot more. And again, we've got the numbers, we've got a number to call if you have an experience down that road. 716-406-4472 is the number to call. And if you'd like to follow us, you can do so on Twitter at Dark Discussions, Facebook at facebook.com/Nocturnal Frequency Radio, and our Instagram, which is Nocturnal Frequency Radio. And of course, don't forget to visit our Teespring shop.
Teespring, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Teespring.com.
Grab a T-shirt. Unfortunately, the double-sided is now into retirement.
It is.
We only have the the regular logo T-shirts.
Plus the sweaters.
Sorry.
Plus the sweaters.
The sweaters and hoodies and what else? Masks. Yeah, there's one right there. Awesome. And yeah, is that's only got the logo, right?
Yeah, that's only the logo.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so don't go nowhere. You're listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio. You're watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio on New Visions Radio Network and, of course, our YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. hear that? Guys, over here. Again, that wailing noise. Look, what's that? What's that? There's something fucking moving over there. You see that? You saw that, right? It was fucking white.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be around this wild, wacky, and sometimes disturbing world of ours. Yes, that's the intro to the Mindset Podcast, a weekly attempt to open eyes and shedding light on what's really going on in the world, all done by ripping apart the media madness that masquerades as news. Join me, Gareth Davis, every Sunday on the Mindset Podcast. You can find the show on all major podcasting services such as iTunes, Stitcher, and so on. Or you can go directly to the main Mindset website. That's www.mindsetcentral.com. Check out the Mindset Podcast. Bring your curiosity, your opinions, and a sense of humor. And remember that some worldviews are stranger than others.
And welcome back to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here on the New Visions Radio Network and, of course, our YouTube channel. Wow. Wow. So anyhow, here we are talking about OBEs and NDEs and astral projection and travel.
Yes, indeed.
I mean,
Some of my favorite
You
subjects.
had an experience, right? You had something that you kind of equate to something, right?
Yeah. Happened. Did we discuss it the last show? But anyway, even if we did, I'll say it again quickly. It was during when I was in high school, my late teens. I was doing meditation just before going to sleep to help me fall asleep quickly. And after months of doing it, where I became very proficient at it, so to the point where I would just lie back, close my eyes, clear my mind, and within minutes I'd be asleep. There was one night where I was in that, half in and out of the sleep state, and I kind of felt myself being lifted out of my body, but at the time I had no idea what the hell was going on, so I panicked and I snapped awake. And I regret it, obviously, because had I known then what I knew now, I would have just let it happen and see where it takes me. But I've tried since to try to do it again, and I haven't had any luck.
No luck, eh?
No, not at all.
No luck.
How about you? Have you had any instances like that?
I know. I mean, I've had things that I don't know if you would consider them astral traveling or projection. I don't know. I've had some really strange experiences happen while I was, sleeping.
Yeah, in that half state where you're half awake, half sleeping.
State, but would I consider it to be astral projecting or traveling? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, what is the reality of this stuff? Is it a reality, or is it just something that that is just theory?
Well, I mean, it's happened to many people. It almost happened to me, and it seems like it's almost happened or has happened to you. The question now remains as to where or what are we actually dealing with? As you said, is it reality, or is it just something within our own minds? Mm-hmm. Or are we just tapping into an alternate sort of universe or alternate sort of reality? And it feels like it's hard to explain, because part of the reason why I think it's real in a sense is because, like I said, that night when I almost had that out of body experience, I felt myself being lifted out of my body. Now, if it was just a dream, would I feel it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the question that kind of is at the back of my mind, that if it was just a dream, I don't think I would feel it. I would just sort of go with the flow and see what's going on in my mind's eye, so to speak, or my dream, but there would be no sensation, I would think. Did you feel anything when you had your experience?
Like I said, I had one experience, and I've kind of mentioned it a couple of times on the show, and I did feel a sort of a sense of warmth.
Okay.
Like a familiar warmth, but like a warmth meaning not safe warmth, if you will. Like I don't know. It's tough to explain, other than like a safe sort of warmth.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's like perhaps, okay, look at. Does this have something to do with astral projection or whatever? I don't know, but I don't know how to explain what I saw, what I experienced. Other than that, I really don't. Mm-hmm. Was it an out of body experience? I don't know. I really just don't know how to explain it.
Do you remember whether you were flying or floating, or were you just sort of walking?
I wasn't doing anything. I was just lying there. And like I said, I don't know how to explain exactly what it was. came to me and basically um, grabbed my arm, and basically when it grabbed my arm, that's when I felt that sort of welcoming warmth.
Okay.
You know,
Yep.
really, really, really weird sort of experience, and I really just don't know how to equate it to anything. I just don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things that, I just shake my head. Okay, so was I conscious when this was going on? I mean, I don't know. I felt like I was conscious, right?
Yeah.
I felt like I was wide awake. But was I? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky thing, right? Because I've read multiple stories from people who have claimed to have had out of body experiences, and they're kind of like astral projection and out of body experience is kind of synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I would hazard a guess and say that they are exactly the same thing, but I guess one happens spontaneously. Out of body experiences sort of happen without your knowledge, whereas astral projection is more of an intent, for lack of a better term. But either way, it's the similar thing. And, you hear stories, or I've read stories and I've heard stories where people are just sort of floating, just sort of flying through this other realm. And it's like a different feeling, a different atmosphere. It's not like Earth. Things don't look quite the same. Like the atmosphere is not quite the same. And I don't mean the atmosphere we breathe, but just like the general atmosphere, and things like that. And a lot of people have said that it is like a warm, not warm in the sense like, oh, it's hot, but it's a warm, caring place, so to speak. And then obviously you have other people on the other end of the spectrum who just felt dread. So, I mean, who knows?
And again, like what I experienced, what was it? In fact, was it like I don't know if it was human. I really don't know. I can't explain how this particular being, whatever that I was in communication or contact with, I don't know what it was.
Could it be possible that it was someone like a deceased relative?
It's possible, but if it was, I didn't recognize. I could not recognize. I could not recognize it.
So it's almost akin to that night, the night my father passed away, when I saw him in that sort of vision, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was an out of body experience or if it was just sort of a vision, but because I didn't really feel any sensations. All I remember seeing was like the hazy gray background, and then my dad sort of appearing and sort of smiling and waving and then disappearing.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything except for I don't want to say relief, because I didn't quite know he passed away yet. He passed away that moment. But looking back on it, obviously I would say, I feel relief, because it's almost reassuring to me that he's almost like saying to me, don't worry, I'm okay, I'm good. You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff. But I don't know if I would classify that as an out of body experience or just something else entirely.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like I said, you obviously sort of knew who it was, but me, I don't know. I mean, was it somebody I knew? I don't know. Was there a sense of familiarity? No, I didn't have that sense of familiarity. Other than like when the contact was made, when my arm was grabbed, it felt just this overwhelming sense of warmth and safety and that kind of stuff. And so I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I can't really explain the being, other than how it approached me was just entirely unworldly like. Motion was very fluent. It, the way it traveled was very fluent. It just effortlessly,
Almost like gliding.
like gliding. Just and I'm like, how do I don't know how to make sense of this. I really don't.
So maybe you tapped into some kind of spirit realm.
Maybe. I really don't know, but it was pretty weird, man.
Oh, I can imagine. It's like I'm the type of person that doesn't remember my dreams very often. And if I do, it's typically because the dream that I did have was very messed up. Now, I'm not suggesting I don't dream. I just don't remember them when I wake up.
Yeah.
And, the few dreams that I do remember that still stick clear to my head, even though they happened many, many, many years ago. One of them was the dream I had where I got over my fear of flying, because in my dream, I actually flew and I could feel the sensation of flying. Right. So it was a very lucid dream.
Yeah.
Now, there are people who argue that lucid dreams, the reason why they feel so real is because you're actually there spiritually. Like you're having an out of body experience, so to speak. And that's why you're feeling it. I don't know if that's necessarily the case with that dream, because in the dream I was at the bottom of a hill, a grassy hill, and at the top was the house, and that had nothing to do with where we actually lived at the time. Right. So it was completely fabricated sort of thing. Right. I don't know where I got that idea from, but anyway, point is, I can't really say for sure if it was an out of body experience or astral projection or whatever you want to call it. I just know that I felt the sensation of flying, and that's what got me over my fear of flying.
Yeah. Was it a lucid dream that I had? I don't know. I don't know. It was very, like I said, I felt very conscious. Like I was awake and very conscious and watching this sentient being, if you want to call it that, just effortlessly come to me. And like I said, it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. It's hard to make out. It's hard to...
very hard. Trying to make meaning of it all. It's just impossible.
Oh, I know. That's when it comes to the paranormal in general, it's damn near impossible, let alone this stuff. But it's...
like we mentioned, if anybody has a story that they'd like to share with us on the show, you can call in. The number is 716-406-4472. You can share it with us. You want to send a story to email, nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com, or of course in our messages in our Facebook group, or whatever. Let us know if you have a story that you'd like to share with us this evening, that maybe it was an out of body experience or near death experience or lucid dreaming or astral projection, travel, whatever. We'd love to hear it. So I mean, when you look at this realm, and again, most people would simply go, this stuff doesn't exist. It's just bullshit, and most people are like that because it's something that we can't actually
can't prove.
It's not tangible.
That's right.
It's something that we just can't reach out and touch or see firsthand. And basically, it's just built. It's built on experiences, really.
Correct. Yeah.
And it sort of brings us to the the metaphysical world, if you will. To better understand that there is that non-physical world there. I mean, it does exist. And our relationship with that sort of realm is well, we really don't know. We don't know. I mean, there are stories and theories, and if you look at you look at the metaphysical world as a whole, it exists just as much as the physical world. And in fact, is it more real than the physical world?
A lot of people.
That's a big question, right?
A lot of people will agree with you saying that the metaphysical or the other realm is more real than this one. That we're actually the dream.
Yeah, we're tripping through a dream, and oh yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a crazy dream. It really is. It's just, you simply go, what the hell, man?
And before we go on, I'd like to say to everybody, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. It helps out the channel. So if you get a chance, just hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified of when we go live. And,
do it because you can keep up to date with what's going on with the documentary that's in the works right now.
Yeah.
The Dark Woodlawn. We're going to be dropping hints and little clips here on the YouTube channel, so you might want to keep up to date with that too, because some really interesting stuff coming out of that. Very, very interesting. As Alex sniffs.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, man.
I got some cocaine stuck in my nose.
Yeah. The truth comes out, huh?
Yeah. Can't you tell?
Yeah.
I was looking up that book that I bought not too long ago, The Borders of Normal. A clinical psychiatrist destigmatizes paranormal phenomena.
You started reading it?
I have started reading it. Yeah, I'm a couple of chapters in.
Okay.
He doesn't really get into a lot of the experiences he's had. He does touch upon it, but it's more of he's doing more so far anyway. Because like I said, I haven't gotten too far into it yet. But so far, it's more of an argument for the reality of this and how it should be destigmatized, so that other people who are afraid to come forward will no longer be afraid to come forward.
Yeah.
And he makes a couple of good points about as far as and it's not something new. I mean, you and I have discussed this multiple times ourselves, where he makes the point for even in a roundabout way, where he goes, even if it's a small percentage that are actual phenomena that's weird and true, because he acknowledges the fact that there's a lot of charlatans out there, obviously, and a lot of people who fake it as well. But he goes, but even if it's a small percentage that are actually true paranormal events, it's worth looking into it, just because if we don't, we're closing ourselves off to who knows what possibilities, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that you and I have both said many times before. That even if it's a small percentage, it's worth looking into. The problem is it's got such a bad stigma to it. Nobody, or very few, I shouldn't say nobody, but very, very few in the scientific community are willing to even approach the paranormal in a serious manner.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's what our initial thoughts are. I mean, let's be honest. There's ongoing research, like legitimate research, into a lot of things that we consider paranormal, if you will, or at least things that science can't explain. And their findings, we only find out near the end of their sort of investigation or research into that particular aspect, right? I mean, we find out, we're the last ones to find out.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, let's not fool ourselves into thinking that there's science is not taking a hard look at this. I'm almost certain they're taking a hard look at a lot of things.
Well, there are some scientists that do, yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But it's not. How can I put this? It's not. I don't want to say accepted, but it's not it's not the general scientific community that will look at it. You have individuals within the scientific community who will take that risk. And when I say risk, it's a risk of being ridiculed by their peers. They will still do it because, there are still people who are interested in, understanding the grander picture, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
But as a whole, the scientific community generally shuns away from the paranormal. And in a way, I can kind of see why they do, just because of the fact that there are so many people who are charlatans in this field and so many people that just make ludicrous claims without any shred of evidence whatsoever. And even though I get the fact that with the paranormal, it's very hard to prove and to have it conform to your wishes, nevertheless, when you make ludicrous and asinine claims, you're not helping the cause. You're hindering, if anything. That's part of the reason why I think a lot of them just try to stay away from it, just because it's built up such a bad stigma over the years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. It's and you look at some of the people that are, and we're kind of like fraying away from it again.
No, we're still talking about the
yeah,
general...
but I mean, we're let's face it. I mean, there are people that have been doing some really hardcore research into certain aspects of the paranormal, if you will, and they really there's no sort of notice to that. I mean, there's only like a close sort of knit folks around them that see and know what they're doing, and it goes unnoticed for the most part. And what's scary is the stuff that gains the greatest notice is the crap that you see on TV, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And and that's why it's in a state of mockery right now, and it has been for years, because of that, you put it, stigma.
It's sad state of affairs, really.
Beyond sad.
At one point it looked like it was being really seriously investigated, for lack of a better term, but it's become a circus sideshow now. Where everybody and their dog has had a paranormal experience and wants to share it on TV or on radio or on on a blog or whatever the fuck you want. But it's this, and this is I've said this before in the past. This is what happens when you give the means to be able to basically voice your opinion to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, at the risk of getting completely off topic, I don't believe that everybody should have a voice. I really don't. Because some people do more harm than good.
Absolutely.
And that's why I would say that. If it wasn't for the fact that if there wasn't that many stupid people in this world, I would say, yeah, open up the forums to everybody. But the problem is you have way too many stupid people in this world that should not even speak.
Oh God. And when they do speak, they have other people, like-minded people that
right.
fuel, fan the fire, the fire, whatever.
Exactly.
And you just, there's no stopping that.
No, there isn't.
There's way too much stupidity out there.
And if you want, I can play an audio clip from an old show that goes to prove just how stupid things are.
Yeah, do it.
All right.
VC went something like, a talkie grabbed it like a cartoon. It went, oh, and then there was some chant like on Rosemary Baby. And then something so low and like, and all of that. And so I let my good friend I called Mom listen to it. She said, I don't watch pictures like that. And so I've been recording down through the years various recordings. I accidentally recorded them walking along beside me, and they was breathing like that and walking.
Now, for context, because people are probably going to say, what the fuck is that shit?
That's that was a call.
I have the first part of that clip where you kind of get the idea.
You want to play that?
Yeah, I'll play the first part.
Okay, I have recordings of evil angels going in my purse, unzipping it and everything, and snorting and growling and all. And I recorded tapes when I didn't understand.
Now you all must.
Okay, when I didn't understand the strange things that was going on in my house.
So yeah, so this lady apparently has recordings of angels, demons,
evil angels
in her purse. and this, my good friends out there in internet radio land and YouTube, is why this field does not get taken personal, or does seriously rather.
That's one of many examples of why. Yeah, this is more entertaining than realistic.
I mean, I've never heard of demon purses.
Demonic purses.
Yeah.
Only on the Travel Network.
I thought it'd be Discovery.
Or the Discovery too, whatever. It's it's just the way it is, right?
And I don't mean to sound like a pessimist or a complete ass, even though I may sound like a complete ass, but when you've been doing the show for as long as we have, and you've heard all the different stories that we've heard, and and Steve and I have gone out on our own investigations as well, separate from each other and also together, and it makes me shake my head every time I hear stuff like that.
It's a constant reminder of just how much I don't even know the proper word for it right now. There's no proper terminology for it other than stupidity.
Basically.
It going down to using phone apps to investigate.
Yeah.
I just when you look at it, it even says entertainment, but people use it.
I know. I'm gonna use a spoon. 2 spoons.
Are you gonna rub them together?
I am gonna rub them together.
Okay.
And when I come close to a paranormal event, whether it be a ghost or a spirit, whatever, they're going to start clacking together.
Clack, clack.
And I'm going to sell this as paranormal tools. Let's see if we can make any money off of it.
Oh, God. Okay, look. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's get into these fucking these apps. By the way, some of these apps here. Look, I don't know if you can see this shit. Hold on, it's just warming up here.
Need some tender loving care.
Okay, so you see that?
Yeah.
This app's called Ghost Observer. You see any ghosts yet?
Yeah, just your head.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh, there's a ghost behind me. So I have to go over here. Oh my God, there's a ghost at my door. Can you see? You can't see that.
No, the mic's in the way.
Hold on. Can you see that?
Move it more towards you, because it's out of the frame.
It's trying to see it?
It's kind of blurry, but yeah, I can see something apparently is there. Yeah.
Oh, man. So I have according to this thing, I have a ghost in here. And it's moving right behind me, But people actually believe this shit.
Of course they do.
Oh man, I don't know, but this is what happens. This is what happens. People buy into this stuff.
So Ron asked the question saying, do you guys ever had to hold back laughter in front of someone making crazy claims? The answer is yes.
Sorry, what was that?
So he asked us, do you guys ever have to hold back laughter in front of someone making crazy claims? And I said, yes, this is what mute buttons are for.
Sometimes it's really hard.
It is. It's extremely hard.
It's just really hard. It just really is. I mean, there's a reason why we don't bring Dr. Demon Gord on every show.
He's got no filter.
He's got no filter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really hard to take a lot of people seriously with a lot of their claims.
Well, UFO Ricky's one perfect example.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find the archive for that, it's you can't even play it on BTR anymore. I don't think you can't even play any of the archives on BTR anymore. No,
but I downloaded a whole bunch, so it might be in one of the ones I downloaded. I'll have to see. I'll have to see if I can find it.
Hopefully, but yeah, he's just one. Who else? I mean, we've had many. There's been a few people that have made some claims on the show that just, I don't know. It's what do you say?
you don't say. See, it'll be harder now that we're on YouTube as well because you can actually see our faces. So even if I were to hit the mute button, you'd still see my facial expression. Unfortunately, but back in the day when
gotta be kidding me.
Back in the day when it was strictly radio, we'd hit the mute button and I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on here?" and you know, the funny thing is that Steve and I would text each other saying, "What the fuck is this?" Oh yeah,
are we gonna cut this guy off soon?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this guy's getting too much.
We can't. This is entertaining, man. Let them make a fool out of themselves. We do it on a regular basis, but it's always better when somebody else comes on the show to do it.
Well, exactly. I mean, you know, it's the norm for us, you know.
Controversy is always a fun thing to deal with, but it's really tough to keep your mouth shut. When you have somebody who comes on and has this outlandish claim, and you're just, what do I do?
You just got to bite your tongue. Bite your tongue and hit the mute button.
No wonder I have a few chunks missing.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly.
No, we've had some interesting guests on over the years, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, very interesting. Yeah. Very interesting indeed. Once again, if you have any stories pertaining to an out-of-body experience, astral projection, lucid dreaming, or near-death experiences.
Near-body experiences. That's for the after-hours show, by the way.
Yeah. Give us a call. 716-406-4472 is the number to call. Yeah. And trust me, it's always good to have some interesting calls.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of miss having those calls in a sense.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when we were broadcasting later, right?
Exactly.
We were broadcasting 11 till 1 o'clock in the morning here.
Yep.
You tend to get a lot more crazy people tuning into the show and wanting to share their stories.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for those of you who listen to Coast to Coast, I remember Jay-Z.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we had our version of Jay-Z. I don't know if you remember Alex, the Bible thumper dude calling up the show a few times.
Vaguely. It's been so long.
We gotta find. I gotta find the archive somewhere. There's. I swear to God, they are hilarious.
There's some guests that we've had on, or some callers that I just sort of like try to block.
Yeah.
Just because it's like one of those experiences I just try to block out of my mind.
Yeah.
Like Columbo, for example.
Oh yeah, yeah. Unfortunate.
I'm not talking about the TV show.
No.
No.
No, you can go ahead, the writer. I'm not worried about it. I mean, honestly, it's. I'm going to be, you know.
Well, he was a bit egotistical. Bottom line.
Just a bit.
I'm trying to be polite.
Full force egotistic.
What's that?
He was full force.
Okay, I was just trying to be polite.
No, well, he wasn't polite to you.
No, that's right. He wasn't. So Steve was having technical issues this one day when we had this guy scheduled on, and I had to call him as a result. And I don't know what the hell happened. I tried calling him a couple of times on the number that you provided me, and it was like going to his fax or something. And I finally got a hold of him, and he's like drilling me on air because for some reason we were able to go on air, but you were having some issues.
Yeah.
And he's got, because how many people do you guys have listening to the show? I'm like, I don't know. In fact, at the time it wasn't that many because we were on Blog Talk.
Yeah.
But I think we were having like around 10,000 listeners, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just, like I said, I tried to block it out, most of it. But anyway, he was a dick. Bottom line. He was a dick, and we just...
He was hammering you, man.
He was, and then he goes, call me back when you're more serious about this stuff. I'm like, fuck you.
I wish we had a recording of that. I really do.
That's fucking, you know what? At the end of the day, it's like, who are you? You're not even that famous yourself, so shut the fuck up. And,
outside of people of Ontario, whatever.
No one knows them.
Really?
What a guy.
Redmond says, bring back Demon Purse Lady.
We just played it.
Well,
does he want to hear it again?
No, he wants it on the show.
Oh, he wants it on the show.
Bring her back. Okay, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're again, the lines are open, 716-406-4472. And we're going to continue on with this. Don't go anywhere. You're listening and watching YouTube. Nocturnal Frequency Radio here on New Visions Radio Network and, of course, YouTube. Take care. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Steve's having technical issues.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Did you hear that? Sounded like a scream.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that way.
was out. You hear that? Guys, over here. Again, that wailing noise. Look, what's that? What's that? There was something fucking moving over there. You see that? You saw that, right? It was fucking white.
That was not paranormal. It sucked.
You've tuned into Nocturnal Frequency Radio with your hosts, Steve and Alex.
This is Keith Age, and you're listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Enjoy.
You've tuned into Nocturnal Frequency Radio with your hosts, Steve and Alex.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be around this wild, wacky, and sometimes disturbing world of ours. Yes, that's the intro to the Mindset Podcast, a weekly attempt to open eyes and shedding light on what's really going on in the world, all done by ripping apart the media madness that masquerades as news. Join me, Gareth Davis, every Sunday.
And welcome back to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here on the New Visions Radio Network, and of course simulcasting live on our YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe. Yeah, what the hell, man? Come on, like and subscribe.
I know.
If you haven't yet, come on.
This goes out to Marcy, because I know you're in the chat there on YouTube. Hit that like button, Marcy.
Has
Hit
she
it.
not liked it yet?
I don't know. I'm assuming the only like we have is from Ron. So Marcy, hit that like button. You know you can do it.
Redmond should come over and join us in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, you should. Get to see our ugly mugs. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, okay. So where were we now? We were.
I don't know. We kind of went all over the place again. But we were gonna go back on topic about out of body experiences, astral projection, near death experiences. Now let's get into near death experiences because we haven't really touched upon that yet. So
What's there to touch? We don't know anything about them.
No, we do as far as people's experiences that they've related. We don't know what it is or whether it's legitimate. But so a lot of people have related experiences where they were clinically dead. There's actually, Marcy posted it in the chat, that Netflix series. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it, Surviving Death.
No.
I've watched it. It's pretty interesting. And they touch upon near death experience, obviously, pretty frequently. So there was, there's an instance where people are clinically dead or like technically dead. Their heart stops. There's no EEG, but for some reason they come back, and then they relate the story of what they saw, heard, and experienced while there was no heartbeat and no brain activity. So the argument is from a lot of doctors and a lot of scientists is that if there's no activity in the brain, you're dead, you're done, that's it, lights out, sort of thing. So for these people to come back and relate what they've heard, whether it's because they were hovering above their bodies and they're seeing what the doctors are doing, they're seeing that, the heart monitor says flatline, no EEG, nothing, but yet they're basically telling what they saw when technically they shouldn't be able to, if in fact, once there's no brain activity, there's absolutely nothing.
But I always thought that there was brain activity for a certain period of time after.
Right, but this is going based on the premise where where the doctors have probes hooked up to your head and are actually detecting no brain activity. So these people are dead. So there's no heartbeat, plus there's no activity in the brain.
But I mean, let's think about it like this. I mean, how accurate are these probes that they have on your brain?
I don't know. It's
what's the
I know what you're getting at. I know what you're getting at. Like they may not be accurate enough to detect the minuscule activity that there might be in the brain. Granted.
I mean, let's and it goes down to energy again. I think our brain activity, our thoughts, memories, everything that our brain produces is energy.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know. You can go into some real deep areas with this, man. You really can.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. Some of the stories that they were relating, some of the people that were relating stories about what they actually heard the physicians say, and they've actually seen, not just heard, but seen what they did. Now, the hearing part, I can understand people arguing, well, okay, if there was actually any sort of brain activity, you could have heard it and you could have just sort of misremembered it, or you may have thought you were floating above, but you were actually in your body and whatever. There's that argument for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if your eyes are closed and you're actually seeing yourself from above and you're seeing what the doctors are doing, if your eyes are closed, if your physical body's eyes are closed, then you shouldn't be able to see what they're doing. And what they've done is they've related certain things to their doctors that they did and said, and were accurate about it. That's what sort of raises that sort of like, question. What is actually happening? Is it actually your essence hovering above your body? I mean, if it all ties in with out of body and astral projection as well. Because if that stuff is true, and if it does actually happen, then it's your energy body per se that's leaving you and doing this sort of exploration. And how is that any different from near-death experiences, right? Your body's leaving.
Think about it. Do we have the ability, does our brain have the ability to, when it's in a distressful situation that it knows that the physical vessel that it is a part of is about to fail, to die? Does the brain have a mechanism that allows it to transfer like our sort of data, if you will, our data into the ether world, or into the, into the universe, or to whatever?
Right.
Does it have that ability?
I'm thinking it probably does.
Right. And that data transfer is in the form of obviously energy. Leaving, is that our soul, if you will? Our soul leaving the body is the transfer of our memories, our experiences, thoughts. Because I mean, let's face it, we think of something that is energy, that's expending energy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how do we can't function without energy? And I mean, energy is infinite.
Yeah. It can either be created, it can't be created or destroyed.
Huh?
Can't be created or destroyed.
It can't be created or destroyed. It's a constant thing.
Yeah.
Right? So then, I mean, obviously the same has to be for us. The functionality of the brain and everything that we've experienced in our lifetime. I mean, you sit there and go, what is the point if it just dies?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense that, you're born, you have this, in between your birth and death, you have this body of information that just disappears.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
It just seems like a general waste of time, a waste of whatever.
It is, and I've thought about this a lot as well as you have, obviously. And you're right. It is a gigantic waste of time if there is nothing before or after this. It's, I mean,
but let's throw that out the window. When you say before and after, I mean, we are because of how the physical world has shaped us here now, in present, and has since humans have sort of grasped time. Right?
Yep.
Time, we essentially live our lives around time. A year's gone by, my birthday today. A year's gone by, my birthday today. My birthday, whatever. What if we somehow were able to break free of that filter of understanding time the way it is? I mean, let's face it. Time is 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 24 hours in a day, 30 days in a month, whatever, 52 weeks in a year, whatever. This is how we live our lives. And if we were to break away or somehow to understand life beyond that control, if you will, to me, that's just a controlling factor. Yep. If we were able to somehow break free of that knowledge of our current understanding of time, how would that affect us as humans?
I think we'd be a lot happier, to be honest with you.
Because look at, I don't have enough time. We're always worried about time.
Yeah.
Time is stressful. It just, it controls how we feel. I mean, I don't have enough time. I got to quit. Quick. I got to get here. I got to do this. I'm going to be late for work. I didn't have enough sleep.
Yeah.
The clock, it kills us.
It's like shackles.
Yeah.
It's shackles for our spirituality because we've been conditioned to heed time for pretty much all of our lives, that it's really hard to break that shackle. Ron has a good point. He posted a comment. He goes, atheists say we only feel a need to have a purpose because we're human and have a sense of superiority over other life. Now, I know this is not what Ron thinks. He's pointing out that this is what some atheists believe. Yeah. And I tend to disagree with that only for one reason. We don't know what other species think. We don't.
Well, yeah.
Now, first and foremost, we have no fucking idea what other species think, or even if they do for that matter, right? Number one. Number two, the reason why we're having this conversation is because, to our knowledge, we're the only species who can have intelligent conversation, right?
And we don't know. We don't know if the other species are having, in fact, an intelligent
correct. We don't know that. That's right.
Because we don't understand it.
That's right.
We're just assuming they're making noises.
Well, we don't even understand fully our own brain and mind and how it works and functions and why it is the way it is, let alone being able to understand other species. And I mean, it's been proven that other species have a form of communication. How complex it is, I guess, remains to be seen. And, dolphins are supposed to be highly intelligent beings. How do we know they don't feel the same way that we do?
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, we don't understand the communication that they have. We have some knowledge on certain communication that other species have, but we don't fully understand them.
No,
we don't. We're far from understanding a lot of basic sort of stuff, especially with animals. But because we are the, quote unquote dominant species here, our lives are more important, right? I mean, what goes on in the lives of the Kardashians rules, and it's just the way it is, right?
I question sometimes whether we actually have any level of intelligence in this life.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. I completely agree with you on that, dude. I really do agree with you that. And it's really sad that, we could really be doing some really
amazing things if we really put, people, don't get me wrong, there are people that are doing amazing things when they put their minds to it and look, tap into something that we all should be able to do, but don't. Most people are happy to sit in front of the TV and watch Sunday Night Football. Yep.
Right? For instance. They have their beer. I've got my beer. I'm content, right? But here we are sitting and talking about this.
Yeah.
Does that make us better?
Oh, wow. That's questionable.
We're tapping into an area that I think most people just don't give a shit about.
That's right.
Honestly.
Except for the people that listen to our show. We love you.
Yeah.
Just started to throw it out there. But you're right. You're absolutely right. And but aside from that, I mean, if we didn't have a superiority complex, and I don't deny that humans have a superiority complex. We do. And that's part of our biggest flaw. Or one could argue it's one of our biggest advantages. Anyway, if we didn't have the superiority complex, I think we would, as a species, get along a lot better with each other and accomplish a lot more, even on a physical realm, as well as the spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Right now, we're so focused on, I hate to use this term, but it almost seems this way. We're so focused on hating everyone who's different than us that that it's ludicrous, because I use this example with some friends. I go, if you take people from different countries and, you know, different ethnicities, and you skin them alive. I know this is a gross example, bear with me here. But I mean, if you skin them alive and then you just sort of like shuffle them around and saying, okay, now point to who here is from Europe, point to who here is from Africa, point, you know, to who here isn't from the Middle East or, you know, Asia. I guarantee you will not be able to.
Well, no, we're all the same.
Exactly. The only difference is the skin. That's it. And why we are on this planet fighting with each other and arguing with each other and claiming that some races are inferior to others is just utterly ridiculous.
Yep. Very true. Very true. It is ridiculous. It is. And it's been an ongoing thing for so long, you know. And will it continue? Yes, it will.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it will continue. And that's where I say that superiority complex is a hindrance.
Well, yeah, and I mean, what does it take? Another species from another world coming here and basically taking over?
That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to either almost entirely wipe the species off the planet.
Well, I mean,
like mass extinction. Maybe only a few hundred or thousand are left. And maybe then we might all get along. Maybe.
I mean, look, let's face it. And that's not a hard thing. We have a pandemic going on right now that seems to be doing a pretty good job right now.
You know, we have a worse pandemic. You want me to tell you what that is? It's called lack of intelligence.
Okay.
That's a worse pandemic than what we're going through now.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if people would use their intelligence,
common sense.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this thing would be a thing of the past.
I agree.
You know, if all the countries would work together instead of against each other, this wouldn't be an issue anymore, I don't think.
Not as big of an issue anyway.
No, not as big of an issue. I think we would have been almost, if not licked this problem or set it into a situation, into an area that's so much more manageable than it is now.
Yep. Agreed. And you know what?
Are we at?
There are some countries in the world who have accomplished that. I think it's Indonesia. Correct? And I could be wrong, but I know it's one of the Asian countries who not that long ago had a massive concert. They held a massive concert with, people out there with, gathered in a concert because they were 200 days plus without a single new case of coronavirus.
Really?
So there are countries out there who are doing way better than our supposed first world nations are. So think about that.
Well, a lot of it has to do with the mentality, I think. You look at, you look at Americans, for instance. Well, you look at the Western world, period, Canadians and Americans. And they simply think that, it's all about me.
Yeah.
And they're not worried about what's around them. It's like, I have to look after myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You got to look after yourself. Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, you also have to look after the people around you.
So,
You know,
yeah. I'm
when you
just reading a comment. I'll tell you after you finish the story.
When you throw that out the window, this is what happens. Things get out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead with the comment.
So Ron said, regarding people being content to just sit and watch TV, I think that's an effect of the system which drains people by keeping them working, occupying, planning, preparing, etc. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ron. You're completely 100% right.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. The other part of the
conditioning. I mean, we've been conditioned for years.
Exactly, which is what we're in a roundabout way, which is what both Steve and I were saying. I guess the problem is, though, yeah, you're right. It varies from person to person because some people work longer hours than others. No doubt about that. But the time that you do have to yourself, it's up to you what you do with it. And you could sit around and watch TV if you want. If that's what makes you happy, so be it. But you could be doing so much more than just that. And it's all up to you. I guess the point that Steve and I are trying to make is that if we use that time for more, for lack of a better term, spiritual reasons, I think as a whole, we would be a little bit happier.
Well, I feel at times that, I might have a day off and I don't do anything. I just sort of lounge around and I sit there and go, I could be doing this. I could be, and I feel guilty for not doing it. I feel like I've wasted time. Just sitting here and just numbing my brain.
Right. And you know what? Ron hit it on the head because we all work hard and the time we have off, we just really don't feel like doing anything. Right. Except for lounging around and watching TV. And I'm guilty of that myself, as all of us are. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but it's one of those things where what I've started doing, and you know what, I used to read a lot. And then for a couple of years, I read very little.
Yeah.
And what I'm forcing myself to do is I'm forcing myself to read more every night. 5-10 minutes. That's all it needs, right? But I'm forcing myself to do it just before I go to bed. I'll read maybe like a few pages or a chapter or whatever, just because I want to be able to get back into it because I've put it off for so long. And it's simple things like that, things of that nature. Or, if you want, you can meditate if that's your stick, right?
Yeah.
So it really depends.
And knowing how to meditate, is another thing.
Right, because there's different methods that you can use and not all of them work for you as an individual. You got to try them out and see what works for you.
Exactly. It's oh man, to manage, I don't want to use the word manage time, but I mean, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I mean, if we were able to manage time in a sense where we can use the energy that we have within that time frame to create something meaningful, and not only it brings something new to the table, but it gives not only yourself but the people around you the sense of sort of, wow, it creates I think positivity, if anything.
Yeah.
And a sense of achievement, and it's really a good feeling to think that, oh my God, I did this.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is really cool. But like I said, getting back to the whole structure of time, it's trying to think what things would be like without the time structure as we know it. How would life be Yeah, you said people would be happier, but think how would life be?
It'd be disjointed.
Without time.
Mm-hmm. It'll be a bit disjointed.
A bit?
Yeah.
It would be hugely disjointed.
Yeah, it would be.
What I'm just trying to think. What elements would are we looking at that would change?
Well, well, let's see. You may not wake up at a certain time to go to work at a regular time, which means that you might start later, which means you don't know. But see, if you don't have time as a reference, you don't know how long you've worked.
There's no scheduling.
Right. It's just, that's what I mean by just disjointed. It's just that there's no coherence.
You just show up to work whenever you want.
Exactly. And some people will never show up to work if that's the case. But the point is that it would be very disjointed.
But would there be work in the sense of how we know it? No, it wouldn't be that way.
No, I wouldn't. No, I would sincerely doubt it would be the same way as it is now. But it's one of those things. It's like, would we be better off in that regard? I mean, as people like ourselves, mentally and emotionally, we probably would be if we didn't keep track of time. But for the sake of the human race as a whole, would it be beneficial not to keep track of time? I don't know. I really don't know.
We wouldn't know how old we were.
No, that's right. That's why we'd be a lot happier because we would know how old we are.
We wouldn't. It wouldn't be a matter. It wouldn't be an issue.
No.
If we didn't know what time and what age meant.
I mean, we've always kept time to some degree, even before time was manufactured in its 24-hour sort of time slot and whatever, because we always kept time by looking at the stars and the sun and how many times, okay, it's high above us, it's noon, midday, and that kind of stuff. I mean, we always kept some sort of time, just not in the same form we have it today.
No.
But we do need a reference, because if we didn't have any sort of time reference whatsoever, and I told you, Steve, here, let's get together at some point. Okay, when? I don't know. Some point. You know what I mean? Like, how do you reference it? Oh, by the time the third moon comes up, we'll meet. It's weird.
When the sun goes down.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Be at this point, at exact point when the sun goes down.
It's an unfortunate necessity, put it that way. It does bring about a lot of anxiety. For some people, there's some people who get really anxious about time, but it's not something that we can do without. Unfortunately, we do need it. Unfortunately, as much as some people may not like it, but we need it as a reference point. It's like, meet me tomorrow at this time at this location. You can't say that if we don't keep time, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have it, unfortunately, for that. Not just for that, but for other things, for work purposes, for getting stuff done in general, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it makes you really think, because people like a lot of things in life, it's that structure that people rely on.
Yeah.
The conditioning and the domestication of our lives, that one doesn't know what to do when that's sort of altered. And look at a prime example was when COVID started, things started to unravel quite quickly.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know how to proceed with their lives, other than, oh my God, okay, so do we go with the flow? What the fuck's going on? Oh my God, it's the end of the world.
Some people still think that.
I'm gonna fucking hoard as much toilet paper as possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it makes you wonder what life would truly be like without this man-made construct that's in place that drives us all insane. Because that's what it literally does. It drives us insane. It stresses us out to the point of insanity.
It does. It's one of those things that, what's that saying is, there's a saying that's not coming to mind right now, but it's a necessity, even though it's something that, like you said, it causes us anxiety and pain and whatever. And it's true. It's one of those things that unfortunately we need, even though it's a painful thing. And it causes us grief, because we shouldn't worry about how old we are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We all know everybody at one point or another is going to die. And some people unfortunately die younger than others for one or another reasons. It's unfortunate, but it happens. But we shouldn't stress over it. And the fact that we keep track of time and keep track of our age makes us stress over it. You know
how much more time do I have to live?
Right. I mean, and then you use reference frames as an example. Like if you look at, in my case, for example, both of my parents died at the age of 77, which is ironic, right? Because they were 10 years apart and they died 10 years apart, right? At the same age. But so now in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh, fuck, you know what? I'm 46 now. How much time do I got left? You know what I mean? I shouldn't be thinking that, because I could outlive my parents as far as age is concerned, right? My grandfather, which is my dad's dad, lived to be, I think, 82 or 83 before he passed away. My aunt, which is my dad's older sister, lived to be over 100. You know what I mean?
But even so, you still, like, you're only halfway, really.
No, I know. But the point is that the older you get, the more you think about it, whether you like it or not. I don't like thinking about it, but it happens all the time, right?
There was a point in my life when it would drone on my brain. It would drone. But now I sit there and go, you got to stop worrying about things that are out of your control.
Agreed. I couldn't agree with you more, but it's an easier thing. It's an easier said than done scenario.
It seems like that, but I think it really is easier than you think. It really is. And like I said, I was really bad. I was extremely bad. I was extremely full of anxiety and whatever else comes along with that about age and my mortality. And now it's ingrained in my brain. It's like, look at, what am I going to do? I can't do anything about it.
Yep.
I can't. Why spend so much time and energy stressing out about something I can't control when I could be doing something else?
You're absolutely right.
Filling that time that I have doing something, that could be constructive or can be creative or whatever else, like drinking but it's all a matter of the way people approach that sort of aspect of life, if you will. And I get Alex. It's hard. It really is. Mm-hmm. Very hard. And in fact, this time of the year, it gets to be really hard for a lot of people.
That's the worst time of year.
And this year, probably doubly as worse because of how things are. Mm-hmm. And there isn't the right amount of things that you can say to a person to try to get them out of that funk. I mean, they just have to figure it out. They just have to figure it out. As tough as it may be, you got to figure it out.
There are times when it's like, I think when I think along those lines, because it's not, I don't think about that all day long, but there are times when it just pops into your head. And there are times it's like, okay, you know what? I hope there isn't a continuance to this life or beyond this life. I just want it to be over, done. When I die, I don't want to see anything. I don't want to experience anything. That's it. But then the majority of the times I think about it and it's like, it would suck if this is the only life we get to experience. That there isn't anything beyond this that we can sort of explore free of our flesh shackles, if you will. You know what I mean? Where we can just sort of explore the universe or explore certain realms that we would otherwise not be able to because we're physically tied to this world, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. It's, it's a constant thing. And this is what I mean. This is something that would drone on and on and on in my head when thinking about the subject. And, somehow you have to look beyond that. As hard as it may be, and when you're saying look beyond what, looking beyond death, and looking beyond how long it's going to take until you die, because there's no sense in fretting over something you don't know, you don't have an answer to. I don't know when I'm going to die. And if one was to expand the energy that they used, thinking about that, and directing it into something else, just imagine what could happen.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I mean, the problem is we're seeing a lot of death around us now. We see that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you pointed out, as we get older, you're going to see a lot more of it.
Yep.
People that are close to you, unfortunately, you're going to see that a lot more as you get older and older, and it's a tough situation. And I mean, most religions sort of spawn off this idea that, it's okay, they're in a better place now, sort of thing. Yep. Scenario. And I mean, is that the truth? Who knows? We don't know. Is that better place our true calling, our true essence, our real world, if you will?
Yeah, there's no real way of knowing.
There's no way of knowing in this point in time. It's just we just don't know. And I mean, maybe there's going to be a day when we understand that, and it will, when each one of us do find out eventually, obviously, what happens. Right?
Yep. I hear you. Marcy made a point, or she made a comment there. After this life, there is another great adventure. I sincerely hope you're right, Marcy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wish I had your enthusiasm. But yeah, I hope you're right.
Yeah. Fuck, Alex, you're depressing me. Just kidding.
Let me lighten up the mood a little bit.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Or this. Nothing.
I played that in the second break, eh?
Oh, did you?
The Alex Project.
Nice. And that was only on New Visions, unfortunately, people, so...
No, you have it, don't you?
I don't think I have it, no.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I have it.
I thought you had it.
Nope, you're going to have to send it to me.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Where am I sending it?
Well, at this point, just send it via email. Because I'll load it up later.
At this point, send it via email.
I'm not going to be able to play it today, so...
Yeah, you can. You can upload it and play it before we leave.
Yeah, Ron said it has gotten deep in here tonight. Yes, this is what happens when Steve and I just sort of chat with each other. We either go one of two ways, Ron. We either go completely ape shit over shit that's like all over the place, or we get really deep and philosophical.
Oh God, really?
Hmm.
We don't know how to be like that.
What, deep and philosophical?
Yeah.
Sure you do.
No, we don't. Do we?
we pretend anyway.
Huh?
So we pretend.
We pretend to know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
That's never the case, though, is it?
Nah. That's up for debate. Where did you send it to? Did you send it via email or?
Hold on, I haven't got it yet.
Oh, okay.
It's coming.
It's a coming.
It's coming. Gotta make sure I find it though. There we go. Okay, there you go. Sent. Sent it to your email.
All right. Once I get it, I can actually play it. And people
Once you get it, you don't have it? Come on.
Not that fast. Come on.
It's fast. Well, we're quickly coming up to the end of the show, buddy.
Yeah, I know. There you are.
I don't think we're going to broadcast during the Super Bowl weekend.
Is that next week?
No. February 5th, I think.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't think we will, because I mean I don't think there will be too many people listening, to be honest.
I doubt it. Okay, let me play the Alex Project. Hold on.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay.
So what's new?
Nothing.
What's new and exciting, Alex?
Nothing.
Well, what's new?
Well, nothing.
What have you been up to?
Not much.
What's new?
Nothing.
I can't hear.
What have you been up to?
Nothing.
People should be able to hear it on YouTube.
Why can't we hear it?
Anybody on YouTube, can you let me know if you guys heard it? It should have played on the airwaves. You may not have heard it, but anyway,
they heard it.
They heard it. See, there you go.
How normally you can play it. I can hear
I didn't upload it to the actual soundboard. I just played the file. That's why. Yeah, see, Marcy heard it too. So that's why you couldn't hear it, because I just played the file.
Oh, you gotta love it.
So I'll upload it to the soundboard so that you can hear it too. Hang on. It'll take a sec. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Now you should be able to hear it.
So what's new?
Nothing.
What's new and exciting, Alex?
Nothing.
Well, what's new?
Well, nothing.
What have you been up to?
Not much.
What's new?
Nothing.
What have you been up to?
Nothing.
See? That's my standard answer. It's this. Nothing.
Oh God.
Talk about deep and philosophical, huh, folks?
Yeah, there you go. That's as deep as it gets.
Can't be any deeper than this.
Oh God.
This is where you know we're getting to the end of the show.
You know, if anybody's serious that's tuned into this is probably going, "What the? These guys are useless."
Well, I mean, if they tuned into us late in the game, like around now, they'll be like, "What the fuck are these guys talking about?" But they missed the whole show of us being serious.
Oh God, you're being too serious.
Yeah, you know, you gotta lighten the mood, especially after we're talking about death for like a last half hour at least.
I think we turned off everybody on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, come on! Why do you gotta talk about this shit for?
I
don't want to hear about this.
Exactly. You're depressing me. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this is the winding down part.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It's the winding down part where we usually say, "Okay, good night, folks. Take care."
That's all, folks.
But seriously, Yeah, it's a really intriguing sort of world to learn more about. If you have not looked into the metaphysical world, I would really suggest that you do. And just start off small and sort of, I mean, there's so much information out there about it and the aspects of it. And you know what? It's not for everybody, but I highly recommend trying to understand the non-physical world.
At the very least, the context of it, or the concept.
I believe it's highly important that one knows about the non-physical world. I really do. It plays an important part of our daily lives, and it's amazing how most people lead their lives on a daily basis without any knowledge of this whatsoever, and just don't care.
Yeah.
To tell somebody, take a snippet of that world and tell somebody about it. 9 out of 10 times, you can guarantee they will be very intrigued by what you tell them, what you say to them.
Even non-believers or let's say atheist is a broad term, but we'll say atheists, who basically don't believe in an afterlife. They basically believe in what you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Even with them, if you have a conversation like this, even though they won't believe it, I'm pretty sure they'll be intrigued by it. It's an intriguing concept regardless. I mean, and it's all how you approach it when you discuss it with someone, right?
Well, I mean, not everything is physical.
Mm.
I mean, energy isn't physical.
Although it could do some damage to you.
Well, yeah, and it can come in some forms of physicality, but for the most part, energy is non-physical. I mean, you look at the air; it's not physical, right?
Some would argue it is, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
But it's not, though. I mean, how is air physical?
Well, we can't see it, but it doesn't mean it's not physical.
Well, that's what I mean. We can't see it.
It has weight, though. That's why some people would argue against it.
Sure.
Because atmospheric pressure here is a lot more than it is the higher you go, right?
Sure. Yeah. But for the most part, it's a part of the unseen world.
Unseen, I completely agree with you. You can't see it.
Right. And most things in the metaphysical world you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
And why most people won't go down that route, because the human mind and the human belief system is hell bent on tangibility.
Agreed.
It has to be within touch. It has to be within sight. If any of that's unachievable, it just doesn't exist, which is not true. Right?
Yep.
Well, I think that's about it, buddy.
It is. Yeah. It's that time of the night.
It's that time of the night. I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight and watching us on our YouTube channel. We will be back next Sunday night, as far as I know. We got to try to figure out some guests coming up soon. Hopefully, we'll get some things sorted out in that sort of aspect. Until next Sunday night, take care, everyone. Thank you for tuning in or watching the show here on YouTube. Have a great week.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.